You know that moment, right? You're in a conversation, you try to convince someone of something. Could be a sale, an idea, heck, even just where to go for dinner. And then you hear it, the but, or well, the problem is. That's an objection. And for most of us, that's when our stomach drops. But what if I told you that sound isn't the end? What if it's actually the real beginning?
Seriously, think about that. What if the thing you're dreading is secretly the best thing that could happen in that conversation? We're going to flip this whole idea on its head. I'm going to show you exactly why that's true and give you a super simple framework to turn every single objection you hear into a massive opportunity.
Okay, so first things first, we have got to tear down the biggest misunderstanding about objections. We've all been taught, somehow, to think of an objection as a no, a rejection, a sign that we've failed. But that's just, well, it's completely backward.
Check this out, because this is so important. The real worst-case scenario isn't hearing an objection. It's hearing nothing at all, complete silence. You know why? Because if someone is totally indifferent, if they just don't care, they're not even going to waste the energy to object. They'll just nod, smile, and wait for you to go away. An objection, though, that means they're leaning in, they're thinking, they're engaged enough to actually raise a concern.
So if an objection isn't a roadblock, what is it? This is the big mindset shift. It's not a wall you have to break through. It's actually a signpost, and it's pointing you exactly where you need to go next.
Just let that one sink in for a second. An invitation for clarity. This is the whole ballgame right here. When somebody gives you an objection, they are literally inviting you to make things clearer for them. What they're really saying is, hey, I'm almost there. I'm right on the edge of saying yes, but there's this one little thing that's nagging me. Can you help me out?
And that's why this is so brilliant. By the time you hear an objection, you're already halfway to the finish line. The person is actively, genuinely considering what you're saying. They're past indifference. Now, your job isn't to fight them. It's simply to accept their invitation and give them that little piece of information they're asking for.
Okay, so we've got the new mindset. We love objections now, right? They're our friends. But how do we actually handle them in the moment without getting all defensive and weird? Well, let's get into a simple, super powerful, and really easy to remember framework for doing just that.
That's it. It's literally just 3 steps. Acknowledge, reframe, and shut up. I know, it sounds almost too simple, but trust me, the magic is all in how you do each one. So let's break them down.
All right, step 1 is absolutely crucial. Your first instinct, your gut reaction, is probably going to be to argue back or to correct them. You have to fight that instinct. Don't do it. The second you start arguing, you have lost. Instantly. Their walls go up, it becomes about ego, and you're no longer talking about their problem, you're just in a fight. The conversation's over. All you have to do here is show them you heard them. Now, step 2, this is where you do the heavy lifting. You're going to take their concern, which usually comes from a place of emotion, right? And you're going to hand it right back to them, but you're going to rephrase it. You're going to reframe it using your own language. And here's the key. Use facts, not more emotion. You're basically translating their feeling into a logical question that you can actually solve.
And finally, step 3. This is where so many people mess up. Once you've acknowledged their point and you've given them that solid, logical reframe, stop talking. Seriously, just shut up. There's this massive temptation to keep talking, to over-explain, and that just feels like overselling. It's desperate. Let your reframe land. Give them the silence and the space to process it. Let it do its job.
So as we start to wrap this up, I want you to see that this whole framework is not just some slick sales tactic. It's way bigger than that. It's a fundamental principle for just communicating better with other humans. It's about making a choice. Am I going to have an argument or am I going to have a conversation? Because really, that's what successful objection handling is all about. It's the process of taking your own ego, putting it on a shelf, and transforming what could be an argument into a productive, collaborative conversation. It stops being me against you, and it becomes us against the problem. You're on the same team, just trying to find some clarity.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Think about your life, your work, your family, your friendships. How many pointless arguments, how many disagreements could you just completely sidestep, or even better, turn into something positive if you just decided to treat an objection not as an attack, but as what it really is, an invitation for clarity?